Lloyd Vehicle Consulting, not sponsored by Lancaster Insurance. Good afternoon. Today is still the 18th of March and I'm here at the 2022 Practical Classics Classic Car and Restoration Show at the NEC in Birmingham. I'm just going to refer to it probably as the Practical Classics Restoration Show because it's a bit of a mouthful otherwise. And this is part 3 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle. I'll try not to fall over, but I do apologise if I do. If I get things wrong, viewers, that's just the way it goes on this channel, I'm afraid. And I might get interrupted by announcements and other things beyond my control. But here we are in Hall 4. We've done Hall 3A and some of Hall 4 so far. And links to the other parts are in the description below. This is a Ford Anglia. I forget the model code for these, but tax imposed, of course, someone's been watching Only Fools and Horses. This is the Ford Classics UK stand. I think this would be some point in the mid-50s. Prefect was the 4-door version of this. I think they're called the 100E models. 100E, that's it. Mark 1 Ford Escort Mexico. A relatively late one, this is a 73-74 plate. There's a lot of Mexicos around. I think there's more Mexicos now than actually were built, so some of them aren't real, unfortunately, viewers. And one of these would be way beyond my modest means. It's really rather nice. Is that a Burton cylinder head on that? Yes, it is. Ooh, quite like this, viewers. It's a Escort Mark IV estate. Wheels, I think, are off something else. I don't know what those are off actually. Tracker, yes, I remember Tracker. 5-speed gearbox. I don't think this is a gear. Is it a GL or something like that? Yes, it's an Escort 1.6 GL, and those are, I think, either the original plates or reproduction ones. Quite like that, viewers. Ooh. Now we're on the XR Owners Club stand, and lots of tasty treats on here. Escorter XR3i Cabriolet. This is a Mark IV, registered in January '89, with quite a body kit on it. I don't think this is the standard body kit that would have come on it, but probably an optional one. And of course, this is an earlier car, Sierra XR4i. Condition of this is absolutely beautiful. Let's see the registration date, 1984. Ooh, headlamp washers. The Sierras in the early days had so many different front ends depending on what model you had, and this is the sort of more upmarket front end. Things like the gear was similar to this. Original reproduction plate from SC, so Ladle or Edinburgh, sort of the part of the world that Mr. Waters from Scottish Car Enthusiast and Trains TV is from. Well, that's a late Mark III XR3i, so that'll be 85. It's an early C plate. Again, absolutely lovely condition. Really, really nice. I have driven a Mark III Escort, but the one I drove was a 1.3L. Again from 85, but nothing like this. Is that a Series 1? Escort RS Cabrio. I've forgotten they made a Cabrio version of the RS Turbo, to be honest. It's very, very kind of cat size looking, of course, because they had several RS Turbos in cat size. I think they had I think 4 in total. And this is one's been modified. Look, this is a Mark 4 or a Series 2 RS Turbo. Yeah, it's got the later dash in it, so it's a Mark 4 Escort it's based on. But I mean that's not very original, but quite a beast, that one. Oh, RS Owners Club now. Oh, the RS600i. These are rare cars. These. This is before the RS Turbo. It looks a bit like a XR3i with like someone's thrown the entire options catalogue in it. It's even got headlamp printed on it as well. I don't actually know what year this is. I think those are off a later? Or very rare. I don't know, viewers. I'm not an expert in these. I'm just going to have to not say if I don't know. Ooh, an RS 1600. This is a Mark 1 Escort. Again, in this amazingly sort of lovely period colour, and an award-winning car. Again, a car that's way beyond my modest means. Original dealer sticker, reproduction one. I think that's a 72, 73 plate on this. Someone's very proud of the condition of their Focus RS, and wouldn't you be? I mean, you're going to look down in the mirror and see how lovely it is underneath. Wow. Certainly impressive, that. The standard of it's been presented. It's won an awful lot of awards. A lot of modifications. Someone's still doing a Puma over here. I recently did have a Puma on the channel on No Budget Reviews, and I quite enjoyed it. I wonder if they're yes, they're doing some repairs to the rear arches, and no surprises there then. What's a racing Puma? These are very rare. Actually, the bits of sort of blue on the steering wheel are completely original to it. Likewise, the flared arches and the wheels. This one's a 2000. I do apologise, viewers. We're just going to have to hear that because it's a restoration show. Another racing Puma, again from 2000. You can see, yeah, the arches are all flared out. This one's very kindly got the window open for me, so I can have a look inside and see what a racing Puma interior looks like. Yeah, it's a bit different, isn't it, from the standard cars. Still got the aluminium gear knob, although it's actually a unique one. It's got a little thing on it. Rob Gravett. Yes, I remember Rob Gravett. Tim Harvey. Wow. Good old RS Cosworth hatch. And this is wow. It's an RS 500. I think this is an 87 then, as far as I remember. Again, they're worth an absolute fortune. I think there are only 4 colours these were available in. Oh, from Handy Ford, yes, of course. It's OR. Ports of registration, although from 74 onwards, Port and Southampton registration areas were merged. So it's just Southampton on it. And yes, I actually live very close to the Handy Ford garage now, but it's now in Eastleigh. It's moved, but yeah, that's interesting. When I was growing up, that would have been registered just around the corner from where I lived. This one's from Route 1 Ford, whether that is, I don't know. DB, I forget where that is. Again, another RS 500. The engine looks like it's been really, really detailed as well. Massive coolant reservoir on that, and red block I think is standard for these. Lovely condition, of course. Another RS 500 Cosworth. I wonder if that. Oh, it's Carl Jones's overalls. I wonder if he actually was looking just like that as well when he was actually a real person racing these. Oh, viewers, how Mazda MX-6, Bournemouth registration, so 96, 97. This is the UK Pro Bonus Club stand, but of course underneath the Ford Probe was a Mazda MX-6. They were built in, I think, Flat Rock, Michigan. I really quite like these cars. It's got the same steering wheel as my old 323F that I had years ago, as well as some of the switches. And the indicators on the right hand side, just like mine was. Mine was also a P registration in this colour, but from 97. But obviously a more modest 1.5 4-cylinder in it, like the one that Ian Seabrook used to have in his 3T3F, but mine was actually in better condition than his was, because this was, you know, early 2000s, so it would have been. So this is what the Probe looks like, again on the same chassis and everything, many shared parts between them. Yeah, even sort of the air conditioning controls and things are quite similar. That steering wheel though is pretty different. So there were two engines, there was a V6 and a 2 litre. I think these are probably both the V6. This is a lovely condition, this one. Look at this is amazing. It's got a Mazda Royal filler cap on it. For many, many years, Ford did have a stake in Mazda, which sort of varied depending on the year, but obviously it was quite a big stake when you're basing virtually your entire car on it. Unfortunately, they've never sold in the same numbers that Ford wanted. They wanted to sort of emulate the success of the Capri, and you can see there's a Capri just hiding there, but it never worked for them. Just hold it nicely. There is rubber on this. There we go. See the interior there. And you've got a rear wiper. Yes, I like rear wipers for this. Ooh, that's a very late registration Capri 280 Brooklands. These were registered until 1989, but production finished December 86. So this is a 87, 88 plate. These are worth a lot of money. I was very blessed a few years ago to do a walk around of one of these and sit at it and everything. That's on the channel. It's very old now, but it is there. Tickford Owners Club. Just very careful with getting these things right, viewers, because I'm very aware that many of you do like Capris and you like your facts right. So this is the Mark 1. Just have to be careful what I say, because I'm very notorious for getting Capri facts wrong. This is quite an early one. That's a 6970 plate. It just says twin cam. I don't know what engine is in that, viewers, but I do know that this is an 84 to 85 Capri 2.8 injection special. I have driven a Capri special 4-speed 2.8 injection Capri. It was on 3 Jacket Reviews October 2020, and I really very much enjoyed that. 82 forest green single tone. And this is a Tickford Turbo. It's like a 2.8 with a lot more power. This is on a personal plate, so I don't know what year this is, but these are now rather nice. Are those Aston Martin V8 wheels on it or something? Wow. This one's, don't know, doesn't say what year it is. Yeah, it's an 84. So actually that plate isn't too far off. That's actually a proper age-appropriate plate for it. Let's have a look at this one that's been modified to be more Tickford-ish. So it's 85 present value, £26,000. It might be worth a bit more than that, to be honest with you. These really do go up in value. The most common colour I've seen on the Tickfords was white, and this is a white Tickford. This one is an 86, so it's quite a late one. Some of them had electric windows and things like that in them. I think they were based on Ford Granada mechanisms. Ever so 1980s. Yes, you can't get more 80s than that. And if that lives in Cheshire, then it says Cheshire Capri Club. Oh, we've got more Capris here, viewers. Let's have a look at more Capris whilst we're here. Mark 1. It's a 3 litre, probably a GXL with thank you very much. Beautiful. Someone spent a long time detailing this engine. Yeah. Wow. 1973 Ford Capri 3000 GT. Probably one of the last 3000 GTs ever made. The level to which these Capris on this stand has been prepared is astonishing. Absolutely, utterly astonishing. I think the Mark IIs are the rarest of all Capris, but Mark Is are also very rare. And when I went round the 50th birthday of the Capri in September 2019 at Brooklands, and that's the most popular video on my channel of all, If you want to see it, just search on my channel by popularity and it will come up. There were some really nice ones there. I'm not sure if any of these were here. I can't remember, it's so long ago now, but there we go. This is a late Mark 1, and that is late registration, so late 74 registration. CG, that at the time, I think was Salisbury actually would have been registered. So it's an RS 3100, although sometimes with these the badges don't. I think some of them actually have GT badges on the side of them as well, which makes it a bit confusing. But ducktail spoiler, yeah, it says GT on it. That's why I always get confused about these, because they say GT, but it is an RS 3100. Sort of gold bit at the back. Just amazing standard this has been prepared to. It still says 3000, but it is a 3100 GT. R3100. I must get my facts right, otherwise I will be murdered. Ooh. Ah. Something I do know a bit more about. Mark 1 and Mark 2 Granada Nuts Club. Late Mark 1 Granada. This is 3 litre S. On an S registration, so one of the last ones made then, because the Mark 2s I think were launched July, August 77. So the very early ones are on an S as well. This is one of 3 Granadas, which is Simon Pegg's film The World's End. This is the main car and the last remaining of 3. I think they tried to make it like an S, but this is probably based on a gear X, I would have thought. I do like The World's End. That's a very good film. I very much enjoy it. Facelift, so I think this is an 82. Yeah. Gear X. And another Mark 1 here. What's up with the plate on this? It's been imported or something like that, because that's an 82-83 plate, and production finished of these in 77. So one of the most popular modifications to do on these to make sure you can get tyres for them is to put Mark 3 Granada Scorpio wheels on it, and this has the Scorpio wheels on it. If I was to get the tyres, that kind of thing. 3 to SX MOD, maybe I'd held onto it for a while or something. Ooh, Transit Club. It's really showing, in this country at least, I'm sure many of you are aware of this, just how much we love classic Fords. And I also am quite fond of them. I've driven several of them, and they do, even in me, I'm not even that old really, they generate a lot of sort of nostalgia. Cheshire plate, very early Mark 1 Transit, 1966. This one, and that plate could be Regipreg. It might have been a re-registration. It's 7879 plate. This one though has been thoroughly customised. It's quite comfortable in there actually. Yeah, looks about right for the year, that front end. It's it's a really early one. 65 plate, and look at the condition of this. I don't think I've ever seen a 65 Transit before. It's amazing. It's not the one with the longer nose, which was for the Essex engine ones and the ones we can't talk about with forbidden fuel engines. But yes, rather agreeable, I think. Wow. Is this a Taunus or a Cortina? It's a Cortina GT by Crayford. Yes, of course, it's got the convertible roof. 2 litre. And the plate on this, it's quite a late one for a Mark 3. That'll be a 75-76 plate, so quite a late Mark 3. And then Crayford did Corsairs and Cortinas, things like that, but they also did this 1966 Wolseley Hornet Heinz convertible. I've never actually had the pleasure of driving something like this. I have seen this car though in quite a few shows. And I think this was the in November as well. Let's go sort of round this way and a look, see what else we could find. More classic Fords, I'm sure, because the following they have over here. Oh, it's a Consul Capri GT, 1963. Excuse me. Did they really only have 56 brake horsepower? Wow. So it went the fastest then. I do like that colour. That's a beautiful colour. Very, very, very rare cars now. Rather like this 63 Consul Classic 315. This is a two-door version. Again, although it's a 63, there's no suffix plate on this. You don't necessarily get that on everyone because not all local authorities change the suffix plates immediately. As late as kind of 1965, they were still on just normal ones. Some nice season Corsairs. That's a grey fit, I think. 1966. It's having some work. There we go, nice wooden dash. This is for the later one, it's a V4 engine, yes. It even says Corsair V4 on the front. It's a very nice looking body shop. 1968. Now got a 2-litre V4 engine gearbox, rolling shell. Ooh, another Crayford, 67 Crayford GT. Looks pretty good. As Mr. Bill always says from the Fuel Power channel, it's for sale, so this could be yours. Very late Corsair. This is a 6970 plate. Yeah, these states were made by Adams Farnham, it's still not factory. Interesting. It's quite an overlooked car, you know, in the classic Ford stable. I don't really know why. People go crazy for things like the Cortinas and Capris and the Escorts, but not for the Corsairs for some reason. Speaking of which, let's go and have a look at some classic Cortinas. Oh, viewers, Mr. Coleman, the rubbish mechanic, is going to be very excited indeed when he sees the video footage of this original order form for this car. 1978 Ford Cortina Mark IV 2.3S. Mark IVs, I think, are the rarest of all types of Cortina. The owner has put mirrors on the floor to show just how clean it is. Let's see if we can just take a little look. Yes, sills are really good on this. Supplied by Dagenham Motors of Uxbridge. That's very nice. There's another 2-litre S. Are these all 2-litre S's? Looks like it. 76, 77 plate. Birmingham area. Let's take a look at this checkered upholstery in now. That's interesting. Little boot spoiler on this one. And sort of fashionable at the time, it was a louvered rear window. Another 2-litre S Mark IV. Although I think that engine's had a little bit of work. It's sort of V6 in there. So 77, 78 plate. That's not the original 2-litre Pinto, I don't think. And that leather interior, there we go. Let me crack in the window so we can see. I think that leather interior is out of a different car. I don't know which car it is though. It's 2.3. Oh, of course it is a V6. It's the it's a Cologne V6. That's why. I do apologise, viewers. I get things wrong, and you know it goes wrong. That's why we call them the Shambolic Shuffles. Let's get out of the area quickly before I get told off. Some Mark III Cortinas over here, viewers. Cortina Mark III Club. This one is a GXL. Just having a bit of work done. A bit of paint and things. Okay, so 70 to 73 plate on this. No, sorry, 71, 72. I do apologise. Getting a lot wrong today, viewers. It's not looking good for the. It's not looking good for the accuracy of my video. This is from South Africa. It's very nice. So probably had an age. But a plate put on it, having been imported, 75, 76 plate. Very, very nice. 3000 XLE, 3 litre V6. Very nice. That is a rather nice interior. I'll just take a look at this interior. That looks absolutely beautiful. Got some side valve Fords here. Don't know what these two are with the sort of chassis being exposed. These are all the models it includes, all the way up to the 107e Prefect, which finished back in '61. I'm not actually sure what this is. It's some kind of state. I think this is a sort of like an immediately post-war one. A bit like a minor travel or something like that, with this wood on the back. Let's take a look at this. Oh yeah, this is the, what do they call these? Something like E39W or something. I think these are called. Someone just call it a 1954 Thames. That's the name that Ford used for their commercial vehicles for a time. And that's pretty good. 100E would be an Anglia because it's a 2-door. Getting better viewers. That plate, the 63 plate. The car will be a bit earlier than that. It won't be a 63 because they weren't made as late as that. That engine, of course, I don't think is the original. I'm not actually sure what engine that is. Is it a Pinto or something? I don't know. Probably got that wrong. Just like most things I've been getting doing this video. So we've got some more of that sort of shape over here, 100E, 107E, Ford100E.com. This one's a Prefect, it's a 4-door. Oh, this is a Popular. Oh yes, yes. The Populars were the ones that came in after the new Anglia was introduced in '59. But this one's been trimmed very, very nicely. Popular was a very, very cheap car. That looks pretty expensive now. So we'll finish this part 3 on this one here. Let's check which one this is. It's a Prefect, this one was right. So it'd be between about 53 and 59. These were very, very significant cars actually back in the day when they were new. Anyway, that I think is quite enough for part 3 of a Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the 2022 Practical Classics, Classic Car and Restoration Show. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and leave a comment below. I do try to get things as right as I can, but sometimes it all goes wrong. And that's why they're called the Slightly Shambolic Shuffles. Part 4 will be coming up at some point soon.